Before this lesson, we were restricted to values that were within the unit circle, unless we use a calculator, of course, but now we're going to be able to find values that are outside the unit circle, as you're going to see in this second example with cosine right now. Here's the identities. They're called some indifference identities for sine and cosine. I mean, we can see there's different names for addition and subtraction formulas, but here's the formulas. Here's how they work. So if you have sine of, let's just say, a plus b, it would be sine of a times cosine of b plus cosine of a times sine of b, and so on. You can take a look at the rest of these formulas, but you'll have these here, and we're going to learn how to use them. So let's just look at this first example. We have sine of 30 plus sine of 120. So what that's going to equal, if we look at this identity up here, it's going to be sine of a. Let's just say this is a and this is b. So sine of a, so sine of 30 times cosine of b, which is 120. So I'm just going along with this formula right there, plus cosine of 30 times sine of 120. So from here, we need to use the unit circle. 30 is right here, where our cosine square root of 3 over 2, and our sine's 1/2. And then 120 is right here, and there are cosine's negative 1/2, and our sine is square root of 3 over 2. So here's 30 degrees, here's our 120 degrees. So using that, we just substitute that right in. So we're going to have sine of 30 becomes 1/2. Cosine of 120 becomes negative 1/2. Plus cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. And sine of 120 is square root of 3 over 2. From PEMDAS, we're going to multiply first, so this is negative 1 over 4, plus, and then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9, which is just 3, over 2 times 2 is 4, and then that's going to be, and let me give us a little more space, that is going to be 2 over 4, or 1/2. Let's take a look at the next one. So I was saying earlier that this helps us find values that are outside the unit circle. Well, think about this. This is sine of 30 plus 120. 30 plus 120 is 150, and that is in the unit circle. That would be right here. So we already knew that value from the unit circle. But what about this one? This is the same thing as cosine of 15. But before, with the unit circle, there's no 15, so we can't just evaluate that. But what we can do is use our identity formula up here. This one says cosine of 60 minus 45, so we're going to use this difference formula right there. So this is going to equal, let me just give a little more space. So this one's going to equal cosine, let's just say this is A, this is B, cosine of 60 times cosine of B, which is 45, plus sine of 60 times sine of 45. And from there, we got to think of the unit circle again. So our unit circle, 60 is right here, where our x is 1/2 and our y is square root of 3 over 2. And our 45-degree angle is right here, where they're both square root of 2 over 2. So we're just going to substitute those right in. Let me label that 60 and 45. Cosine of 60 is 1/2. Cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Plus sine of 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Times sine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. And then that's going to be square root of 2 over 4 plus square root of 6 over 4. And if you want to, you could say that square root of 2 plus the square root of 6 over 4, and that's it for that one. So there you have it. That's basically how they work. You just add the two angles together, just go right along with that formula, get these values from the unit circle, or in the future we're going to be getting it from triangles in the next video, and that's how it works.